Tonight we have another important guest from the local political scene joining us. Noblesville Mayor Chris Jensen is here tonight. Mayor, thank you for being with us.
Merry Christmas. Thanks for being here.
I know. Can you believe it's December?
Hard to believe. I can believe because my kids remind me every day. So yes.
They're excited, right?
They are excited. What's there not to be excited about?
I was going to save this for last, but you have four kids, 10 and under.
Yes.
What is the Christmas season like in your house?
Mass chaos. But that's the everyday for us.
That has nothing to do with Christmas.
No, it just adds a little cold weather and some stockings. So no, we love the Christmas season. It's great to be able to hold the threat of Santa Claus over their head at times. You probably remember those days.
I do.
But it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your term as mayor here. Started, you were elected in November of 19, so you started January of 2020. I don't know if you remember this, but the world kind of changed in 2020.
Remember it well.
What was that like? Seriously, you're probably, 2 months into office when
the world
just goes crazy on us.
Yeah, we were excited to take office. It's my hometown. To be mayor of your hometown, such a small percentage of life gets to ever do that.
Yeah.
So an incredible opportunity. We had bold vision, a great plans for the future, and then in March of 2020, it kind of came to a screeching halt, and it really helped kind of refocus our purpose as to why we were here. We were still able to continue on with our big plans of infrastructure development, enhancing our downtown, for example, focusing on workforce, but we had to add another huge component to that, and that was dealing with COVID-19.
So you did that proactively, or as it's happening. Now it can't completely look back, but we're deep into the pandemic, and you can assess these last 18 months or so. How has it gone in Noblesville? How have you guys navigated all those tricky waters in the midst of a pandemic? Yeah,
so first and foremost, we focused heavily on the businesses in our community. Our downtown and our city is built on the back of a lot of small businesses, as are many communities across the state of Indiana. So we jumped into action to give out some small business grants to make sure we can keep their doors open. We knew those small businesses are keeping food on the table for people, rent paid for people, mortgages paid. So we were able to jump in before the federal government did to help keep their doors open, and we're really proud of the work that we've done there. And then we shifted really to the general population and trying to understand what our residents needed. And we discovered quickly that there was a major mental health epidemic coming alongside the pandemic that we were all dealing with. So we had to quickly change our focus to that area.
Tell me about that focus. I know that you have really invested your time and energy into maybe trying to get rid of the stigma, help people. What are you doing actively to address the mental health concerns?
Sure, and you hear a lot of the campaigns going on about kicking the stigma and whatnot, which I think is incredibly important. I also think it's important that we put action behind those words as well. We launched a program early on in March of 2019 called Noble Act, which is a proactive paramedicine program. What that is we knew that if we could come alongside those in our community, those that are dealing with anxiety, depression, loneliness, substance abuse, homelessness, any number of those issues, if we can come alongside them early in that process to help link them directly to services, that we can get to them before they get into our criminal justice system, for example. We can help get them the services they need to get them back into our community as a thriving member of our community. That not only has a direct impact on the culture of our city, but it has a direct impact on the budgetary and economics of our city as well. We have a $92 million annual operating budget. 47.8% of that goes towards police and fire.
Wow.
So we knew if we can invest ahead of time, we can actually reduce the number of 911 calls in our community. Furthermore, the second week of April in 2020, what really struck me is that we had more individuals commit suicide in the city of Noblesville than had died of COVID-19.
Wow.
And that told me what I was already expecting, that we had some real mental health challenges in our community. So we launched a program called Mental Health Monday, where I go online onto Facebook live for a half an hour with a local therapist, Kristen Boyce, and talk about my feelings. I talk about everything from the struggles of raising kids to running a city to having a healthy marriage, to e-learning, to you name it. We deal with all of that and talk openly about it. So it's an exciting time.
Tell me about that. What kind of feedback have you gotten? How has that gone over with your residents?
I was a little apprehensive at first. Here I am, a white male Republican in Hamilton County, going to go on Facebook and talk about my feelings. That's a little different, right?
It's not what we do.
It's not what we do.
Right.
But I also realized that maybe it is what we're supposed to be doing. And maybe I felt like if I could, as a leader of a community, share my thoughts openly and share my feelings, that it might help bring some comfort to those that I knew were struggling. And I had a ton of feedback from folks, my age as millennials, all the way up to baby boomers, especially baby boomers, who really weren't conditioned as a generation to talk about their feelings. But I had people whisper to me in the grocery store that, hey, I watched your show last Monday, and I felt a little like that was confessing to me a little bit. But I was really glad that we were reaching into them in the comfort of their home and giving them the resources they need to talk about it.
In all seriousness, these issues that will lead to suicide and lead to depression and lead to severe anxiety and stress, they are so often hidden. Yeah. They're so often not known to all those around us, even those close to us. To get it out in the open just seems like a critical step. We have got to start talking about mental health more and more. So I think this effort is tremendous.
Well, I applaud, it's not only local leaders, but, we've seen like the Indianapolis Colts step forward with great campaigns, getting well-known people talking about these and making it known that, hey, you know what, it's okay to not be okay. And it's not just me. It's my local elected officials. It's local sports authorities. It's folks like that are being open and talking about that. And I think it gives folks a sense of calm and lets them know that it's going to be okay.
Is this a long-term plan? You think Mental Health Monday is here to stay?
So yeah, it's twice a month now, and I don't see an end in sight. Again, and I'm committed to sticking with it. And we have folks that chime in every other week with questions live on Facebook. We're going to invite some guests going forward. The next couple of weeks, we're going to address veteran mental health, because we know that a lot of our veterans have unique challenges as well. So there's always new topics coming up. It's something that I don't foresee going away. In fact, I think it's going to just get stronger and be more prevalent in our community, and we want to be there to talk about it and also put action behind it and get resources to those folks.
One of those other things, quickly, Chris, is the holiday season.
Yeah.
The holidays can be so joyful and so fun, but for some, they can be the addition of more anxiety, more stress. Are you seeing that in your population?
Yeah, and I think I would say not even just for some, for most, it adds a level of anxiety and stress. Again, you laughed about having 4 kids. You have 3.
Right.
You know what it's like.
Right.
And it's colder outside. It's darker outside. There's stress of purchasing gifts and financial stress at the end of the year. So it's a tough time, and it can be the highest of highs, but it can be the lowest of lows, and we're going to be there to give some folks some resources to get through it.
Chris, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
all that you're doing. Noblesville Mayor Chris Jensen. We'll be right back.